What's going on, y'all? We are back with another live mix on YouTube here. This time I have a session from an artist named CorettaKing. And it's going to be vocals and piano. It's going to be another small session. As I get more comfortable doing these lives, I'll move up to bigger and bigger sessions. So let's get over to Studio One. And green track here is our keyboard. Blue track is going to be the vocal. This was recorded with a Empirical Labs Mic E was the preamp, and the microphone was the Roswell Delphos 2. And in the session, I've already set up. Let's see. I've already set up a piano and a vocal verb because I know I'm going to put some reverb on both of those. But the first thing I'm going to do here is let's get a level meter on my mix bus, and I'm just going to play it back, listen to it, and I'm going to start to just listen and determine what do I feel needs to be done to get the best mix here.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me, darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by me.
Okay, so on the piano, I'm hearing some compression that I feel needs to be done just to bring down some of those loud parts. The vocal as well, just a little bit of compression I'm hearing needs to be done. Tone wise, with the vocal, I'm very pleased with that. This isn't something that's going to need a lot, if any, EQ to it. And that's just one of the things with recording with a really good mic and really good mic pre and just getting a really good vocal. You don't have that much to do in the mix, especially EQ wise. So I really don't hear any EQ that I need or want to do here. Maybe adding just a little bit of high end. That's one thing about the Delphos too, is it's a little dark on the top, but I'm really happy with the tone and the sound that I have here. So I may add that when we get to working on the vocal just to see what it sounds like, but I don't feel that it needs it. There's some loud parts in the vocal that I'm going to use some compression to bring down. I like the overall dynamics of both the piano and the vocal, but I still want to squeeze it just some. I think it's up in here where there's a really loud vocal part. There's a S I heard jump out somewhere. I think that was around here. We will address that. The first thing I'm going to do to get started, well, gain stagings, looking at the levels here, the levels are really fine to me, so it's not a lot of balancing I really have to do right off top. Another thing I'll add, the Delphos 2 is a very clean and neutral, natural sounding mic. I feel like I want to add a little bit of saturation to the vocal just to maybe make it a little thicker and bring it forward a little bit as well. So I think we'll be doing that too. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the mix bus set up, which start with some mix bus compression. And I'm going to use the Decam Free Comp. This is a free bus compressor from FS Expansion, and I really like it. I'm surprised I haven't gone and just bought the full version. But let's get some mix bus compression set up here, and then we'll start to tackle these tracks individually.
No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon, I won't cry. I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Okay, so I'm good with the bus compression. I don't want to do a lot of bus compression, just a few dB, because I'm about to squeeze it even more with just individual compression. Once I get to doing the individual compression, I'll probably jump back to the mix bus compressor and just see what it's doing. Even with this free one, I don't know how far that first hash mark there is probably 4 dB. If I'd guess, I'm pretty sure this is based off like an SSL style compressor. Just looking at the attack and ratio times here, so I really try to push it maybe in between that first hash mark if I'm just going for 2 or 3 dB of compression on that. And there's someone say that my audio is low. Let me know if that is better in the chat. Moving on to, let's start with the keyboard. I'm just going to pull up the fat channel. I thought I had it in my favorites. Let's see. And I know that loud part in the piano I heard was around here, so I'm going to mute the vocal for a second and see if I can dial in some compression on the piano here. Okay, so what I'm going for here on the compressor is I want to leave the majority of the piano untouched, but when she hit the keys loudly, I want to get some compression to pull that down. It looks like I'm getting about 12 dB compression on the loud hits, which I feel like it's gonna be a little more than what I want. So I'm gonna come up off the threshold some to, and I'll start maybe like 20 negative 28 dB. 3-to-1 ratio. I don't want high ratio. Just like 2-to-1, 3-to-1, maybe 4-to-1 is probably the highest I would go with this. Start with 3-to-1 and see what we get. Attack time just want around 7-8 milliseconds. I don't want a crazy fast attack time, but I do want a fast attack. At the lowest, I might take this down to maybe 5 milliseconds. Release, looking at 300 milliseconds right now. So I'm going to play this back. I'm going to bring it in and out and just hear how those loud hits are sounding with and without compression. Okay, so I'm going to move to another compressor. That's not getting me what I want. And I don't spend a lot of time dialing in plugins. If I can't get the sound I'm going for within 2 to 3 minutes, I'm moving on to another plugin. So I'm going to find something else to use here. All right, let's see what we can dial in with this Summit TLA from Softtube. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick with this. I immediately heard just some smooth compression going on there as soon as it kicked in, even at like the negative 1 dB of gain reduction. And it's also sounding smoother to me too. So I'm going to finish dialing this in. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to move on now to adding, I want a little bit more reverb on the piano. It's got a little bit on it now, but I want just a little bit more. So I'm going to grab the Denise Audio Perfect Room. And this is a reverb that's really easy to use. I can dial it in really quickly. So let me go ahead and let's dial in this. Okay, happy with that reverb. I may come back and EQ the piano a little bit, but I got to put the vocal back in and just hear everything's blended. But right now I'm fine with the piano sound. So let's go ahead and move on to the vocal. So I'm going to unmute the vocal. And so let's first thing I want to deal with is that loud S that I heard. So we'll fix that with the de-esser, and I'm going to grab my go-to de-esser, which is the Waves sibilance. And let's find that S.
I won't cry, I won't cry. Should tumble and fall, and if the sky
All right, that S right there. So the Wave sibilance is a really easy to use de-esser. I like plugins that I can dial in really quickly, and sibilance does a great job at finding the frequency of the S's for you. It's not something you have to dial in like a typical de-esser. So just to start, I'm going to, and normally that -12 range is already good for me. So I'm just going to pull the threshold down until we start to level out that S.
if the sky we look upon, 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 if the sky we.
Okay, so here's what we did with the de-esser. This is with the de-esser.
If the sky.
And this is without it.
If the sky.
So I'm happy with what we got there with the de-esser. I'm going to, I don't really hear any EQ, but probably got some low end that needs to be taken out, like up under 100 hertz. So I'm just going to pull up the Pro EQ because it has a spectrum analyzer on it. And let's see what we got going on just like below 100 hertz here.
If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea.
Okay, so we're just going to roll off some of the low end there. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add some reverb to the vocal. Let's use Haven't used this one in a while. Let's go with the little plate from Sound Toys. Again, really easy to dial in. We only have a couple controls. The decay, 2.5, or was it set to 3 seconds? It's a little long for me, so I'm just going to bring it down to maybe around right up under 2 seconds for the tail here. And I'm just going to bring the low cut up some. And let's take a listen and see what we have here.
If the sky If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, stand by me, oh, stand.
Okay, I'm good with the reverb setting there. Let's move on to getting some compression on the vocal. Let's see. So I'm going to go to, so the way I set my compression is I find the loudest part, or the part that I'm really hearing that I need, compression on, and I set it from there. And for me, that's this part, I believe it's here. Let's take a listen, where to me is the loudest part of the vocal here.
Stand by me whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me, oh, and darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, and darling, stand by me, oh.
Okay, yeah, that second darling, we're gonna knock that down with some compression. So let's go with another one I haven't used in a while. Let's go with the BX Opto. So this is an Opto compressor, and this is available in the Studio Magic suite of plugins. There's some third-party plugins that you get with Studio One, or with interfaces, Presonus interfaces. You can check your Presonus account and see if you have them there. But this is I like Opto compressors because they're smooth, and this one works pretty similar to like an LA2A. You got your peak reduction and your output, which is a little flip-flop from what it would be on the LA2A. But I'm going to bring this peak, we'll start at 40, and I'm going for really no more than 6 dB of compression probably. So we're going to let's kind of loop that part there and see if we can dial in some compression to bring down that loud part.
By me, and darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, and darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, and darling, stand by me, oh.
And this control under peak reduction is the speed, which changes the speed of the release. I think we got that dialed in okay, so I'm going to bring it in and out and hear what it's doing.
By me, and darling, stand by me, and darling, stand by me, and darling, stand.
Okay, so now that I've used the compression to bring down that loud part, I'm going to use the output or the makeup gain to bring up some of the lower part. So I'm just gonna just bring this up to about 3 dB here. And so now I'm going to, let's take it back from the top. I'm just gonna listen to how this compressor setting is affecting the rest of the vocal.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me, darling, darling, stand by me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by me.
Okay, so overall, I'm happy with the compressor setting there. I heard one low part in the vocal that still sounds a little buried, and I'm just going to fix that with some volume automation. Typically, volume automation is the last thing that I do, especially when I'm doing a mix for a client, just because automation it can be hard to undo and tedious to undo. So a lot of times I'll send a mix to a client, and just when I get 85% done, and if they're happy with the direction I'm going, and there's a few little tweaks that we need to make before it's final, that last 10-15% part of that is me doing volume automation. But I'm going to go ahead and do the volume automation now, just so I don't forget to do it later. Let me find that low part. It was in the beginning.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see.
All right, it was the moon, which I think is right here. Let's see.
Dark and the moon.
Yeah, so we got a piano hitting right there at the same time, and I'm kind of feeling like I want to bring the piano up just a little bit, maybe like a dB, which would make that part get buried even more. So let me jump over and add just a little bit there. And okay, so let's fix this with some volume automation really quick. So jump to my automation, volume. Oh. Okay. And I'm going to start with 3 dB and hear how that sounds.
And the land is dark, and the moon is the only light.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to play it back now. I've got the compressor set for both, and I'm just going to take a look at the mix bus compression and just see what that's doing at this point.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by. I won't cry. I won't cry. No, I won't shed a tear just as long.
Okay, I'm still good with the compression going there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some saturation to the vocal. And to do that, I'm going to use another Denise Audio plugin here, which is Bad Tape. I'll just bypass it so you don't hear that right now. But so Bad Tape is a tape saturation plugin, but it's called Bad Tape because it has a lot of the bad qualities from a tape machine that you have available here. Wow, shake, hiss, squeal, harm. I actually just did a review on this plugin on my YouTube channel. But for the vocal, I don't want any of this bad stuff, so I'm just going to pull all of that out. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the output down to probably like -12, 14, because with the saturation, I'm going to be boosting the gain and just boosting the volume of the vocal. So I'm going to add some saturation here, and then we'll compare what it sounds like with and without the saturation. Oh, another thing with the Bad Tape here, this option here, color. So this allows me to add color that's going to make it a little brighter or make it a little darker or warmer. I'm going to turn this up to make it a little brighter and just hear how that sounds, because like I said, I could maybe hear like a dB or two of high end added here, but I'm going to try to get that out of this saturation plugin and see if I'm happy with that.
So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Okay, so let's compare what the Bad Tape is doing here. With it, I hear the vocal coming forward some, which is what I want. And I also feel like the vocal gets a little thicker too. So I'm going to play just that loud part, and I'm going to bring the Bad Tape in and out.
And by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. And by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh.
So for me, I'm liking what I'm getting out of the Bad Tape. I'm going to keep that. I feel the vocal is going over the piano a little bit now, so I'm just going to take the output of bad tape and just bring it down just a few dB, maybe to negative 20, and hear what I got now.
By me, and darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me, stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me.
Okay, so I'm happy with that balance level now. I just had to pull the output down just a little bit more on the bad tape. But as far as adding saturation to things, especially drums, vocals, synths, I really love this bad tape plugin from Denise Audio. I'm going to now see what I can get out of the console shaper. And something I normally do early on and kind of forgot about it here, but the console shaper in Studio One is 3 console emulations. The classic is a British console. It's a little dark on the top end. Tube is a little bright, and this custom one is a Presonus one that is, I want to maybe say a blend between both of them, but all 3 has its unique sound. I'm going to play with this just for a second and see if I can enhance what we have here. I'm happy with what I have right now, but a lot of times I'll get this console shaper going on early on in the mix. But let's add, so the dark one, I don't think I'm going to want the tube one. I don't want it any brighter than what it is now. So probably going to end up with the classic or the custom. I'm go ahead and play it through the tube just to hear what it sounds like, but just knowing what it sounds like myself, I don't think I'm going to like that. But I'm going to start to try to dial it in with the classic first, and then I'll move through them.
By me. When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see.
All right, actually, before I continue with this console shaper, that line is still bothering me just a little bit. I'm going to get back into the volume automation, and it's just the first half. I believe it's what I'm hearing. That's still feeling a little buried, and you can see it. That's the phrase or word that's below that piano hit there. I'm going to bring that up just another 2 dB and take a listen.
And it's dark and the moon is.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. So let's continue on with the console shaper.
And it's dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by. So darling, darling, Stand by me, stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed.
Okay, so honestly, I'm not liking none of these, so I'm just gonna remove this. The classic is too dark, the tube is too bright, and I feel like the custom is too bright too. So I'm going to just remove that here. Okay, so I'm going to just give this one last listen through and make sure nothing else is bugging me. I feel like I'm pretty much done at this point, but let's give it one last listen through, and then I'll play it with all the plugins disabled to hear where we started from to what we have now. So I'm gonna give this one last playthrough.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever you in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me.
Okay, a few things being extremely picky. One, I'm just gonna fade out this ending here because I feel like it ended a little abruptly. Let's see.
By me, oh, stand by me, oh, stand by me, stand by me.
Okay, that's good. And I heard one more. I think it was the word strange. I should have marked it because I'm trying to find the waveform now. I think it was here. Heard a word strange that can come up some.
By me, oh, stand by me. Oh, I won't be afraid. just as long as you stand by me. Stand by, oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't. And the land is dark, won't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me.
Okay, I think that was it. I think I said strange. It was stand, which looks like it's... so I'm going to turn the snap off so I can get in between here.
As you stand by.
Yeah, let's bring that up like 2 dB.
Long as you stand by me.
Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to play it back, and we'll disable all the plugins and bring them back in and just hear where we started to what we have now.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see, no, I won't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains crumble to the sea.
All right, so there was a kind of before and after of what we started with to what we have now. I'm happy with this mix, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you want me to mix any of your sessions live here on YouTube, you can email me at czar@audiozar.net. All that information will be in the description of the video, as well as I'm going to try to put all of the plugins that I've used, put a link to all of the plugins that I used in this mix in the description in the video as well. That should be, I'll try to have that done sometime tonight. All right, I got a question here. Which microphone is this in the vocal? This is the Roswell Delphos 2 is the mic that this was recorded with, and the mic pre was the Empirical Labs mic E. And the piano was not mic'd. This is we just took the keyboard and ran straight into the Mic Tech MPA 201 just into the line in. And that's how we recorded the keys on this. All right, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for viewing. And any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.